All right, welcome to another. It's not new, but it is improved. It is bigger. It is better. Investor Guys podcast with that grinning guy right there, Bill Barnett, and myself, Kevin Mills.
Good
Thank
morning,
you
sir.
for joining us. Good morning, Bill. How you doing today?
I'm doing incredible as well. Woke up this morning like starting all my days that way.
Yeah, it's a good way to start. I've been doing that myself lately. Um, there's the old saying: if any day you wake up above ground and not below ground is a good day, good way to start the day. And it, without putting a damper on everything, for every single one of us, every day that we go through life, no matter how amazing and how great that day is, we're one step closer to putting our foot in the grave. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer or anything else, but we are one day closer. Whatever that day is going to be for us, we are one day closer to that day. So, my recommendation is get out there, get off your butt. They say life is a journey. I was thinking about this the other day because I actually did a post on it. Life is a journey. Okay. It is not about the destination. Because what is your destination, Bill? Ultimately, what is your destination in life?
Yeah, heaven's my ultimate destination.
Yes, it's the grave, you know. So it is the journey that matters. Okay. Your journey is what's going to get you to where you're going. Ultimately, we don't want to get to where we're going too soon. Okay.
Yeah.
We we want to take our time. We want to enjoy that journey, but we need to make sure that that journey is the right journey. We need to make sure that we are taking the right path to get us to where we're going. We're all going to get there one way or the other. It's just our rewards along the way. And
Yep.
for Bill and I and lots of others, we believe there's something afterwards. Our rewards afterwards have to do with our journey here. So what I'm getting at is get off your butt, GOYB. Okay. Get out there, whatever it is you're going to do, real estate or otherwise, get out there, do it, enjoy the journey,
Yeah.
enjoy life. That is what life is about, learning lessons and enjoying life. And one of the best ways to do that, is Bill and I can attest, is by being a real estate investor.
Yep.
We have been talking about, we've been getting back to basics. We covered getting off your butt, getting motivated, which we just, again, glanced on. We do that a lot. Making offers, getting out, making offers. If you haven't caught these shows, go back and catch them. They're all up on our line, investorguyspodcast.com. You can catch all these or your favorite podcast outlets. We talked about running numbers so that you know what numbers you need to factor in when you're making your offer. And today we're going to talk about money. And if we have time, this may be two shows, to be honest, because money is a pretty broad category.
Yeah. It could be 8 or 10 shows. I do a whole 3-day weekend on the 5 P's of OPM. So it could be a lot.
So we might spend a few shows on money. And I have some things that I like to do that are outside of what a lot of beginning investors do. However, understanding that, if that's where you want to get to, it's a good thing to understand so that you can get yourself there while you're first starting out. But I'm going to toss it to Bill because I've been talking a lot on this first segment and burnt up half of it already. So Bill, let's talk about money. Let's talk about basics. Okay.
Yep.
Very basics, simple. How do we get money to make our offers?
Yeah. So, and use my 2 favorite real estate words in the last 4 words there. Our whole business is built on money and offers. That's the entire real estate investment world, money and offers. We're always building more funding methods, always finding more funds, but we're also always learning different ways to make offers, make our offers better, make our offers faster, and making offers on different types of real estate. So we've been talking on a couple of shows about offers, but we're going to talk about money. And there's a lot of different forms of money out there. So you've got personal money. A lot of people don't think they have any access to personal money when they do, because it could be using your credit cards, which is your consumer credit cards, but using them for your business. And if you use them for your business, then you're really doing smartly by using a throwaway product. Consumer credit's a throwaway product, but you're using it for a commercial purpose to build your business. And that is a very smart move to do on that kind of money. So look in your wallet, your purse, and figure out, okay, how much credit do I have? How much do I have available? Am I paying attention? Am I nurturing my credit relationships with my credit card companies? Because I look at those as business lines of credit. So I can buy stuff from Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, Menards, wherever you shop, or Amazon. I spend as much money on Amazon as I do anything else now, buying materials, buying lights and faucets and doorknobs. A lot of that stuff we can now get cheaper, and sometimes significantly cheaper online than we get at the box stores. And then that's a great place to be able to go use just consumer credit for your business. Should you have a Lowe's and a Home Depot card and Menards card and an Ace Hardware and all? Yeah, you should. Why? Because it allows you to be able to use consumer credit for commercial purposes to build your business. So if you're doing fix and flips, which is where the overwhelming majority of people start. I had a friend a couple of weeks ago that came to me and goes, well, I'm really starting in luxury, so I don't need to fix and flip stuff. And I'm like, no, you need to fix and flip stuff about 10 times more than the average investor does, because you're buying property that is significantly higher priced, and you're going to get eaten alive if you think you can jump into the luxury market and just figure it out as you go. So that's one of the things I like to look at first. Just I keep a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, list all my cards on it, and I just use the last 4 digits of the card. I may put V for Visa, and then the last 4 digits, and then just list them out. And then there's just some extra columns. One says, here's what my credit line is. Here's what my current balance is. Here's what my available is. Here's my interest rate. Here's if that particular card has an annual fee or not. And some do and some don't. And so I want to look at those things, and on a quarterly basis, go in and call all of my credit cards and check on, can I get a credit increase? Can I get a decrease in my interest rate? I don't care what the interest rate is. I want it lower until I get it down to 0 for 6 to 12 months. And then can I get, if it has a fee to it, can I get that fee waived? And all of these are just things you ask. So here's the process. If I ask you and you say no, am I hurt? No, I'm in the same place I was before I asked you. I didn't have a credit increase when I asked for one. I didn't get one. I've lost nothing. I'm in the same spot that I was. So I pointed out that way, because if I get a yes, even if it's 10%, that's a win. That's a big win, because it's a no-lose proposition. If I ask and they say no, I haven't lost anything. If I ask and they say yes, I'm 100% ahead before I ask. And so I always look at it with that mindset.
Yeah. And we're up on a break, but I just want to interject really quick.
Sorry about that.
Remember, no, don't worry about it. Remember, this is a negative in your column. Okay. It's helping you get to where you're going, but make sure you don't count this as profit when you sell the property. You have to pay creditors back, or you're not going to have this line of credit. So make sure you're putting everything in the proper columns. And when you are finished with this flip and you've sold this property, go ahead and pay it off. Bill and I have got projects going on all the time. So whatever we've got on our card, we try to pay it down as quickly as possible, whether or not we've actually sold the property that we got our last stuff from Home Depot on or not. If we pay it down, we're paying less interest because we're not carrying a balance. Okay. It still works out the same. You're still putting it in the same columns, but we're trying to be credit healthy. If you are credit healthy, you are more likely to get a better rate for sure. You're also likely to get higher limits on not just your current credit cards, but any new credit cards that you get, by keeping your credit usage down. Understand how credit works. Get yourself access to free credit reporting. A lot of credit cards provide that already with their services.
Yep.
You can get it from Credit Karma. There's a bunch of others you can get for free. Right now, I think it is maybe even more credit reports per year from most of the reporting agencies. Understand how credit works, use it to your advantage, and then understand once you start rolling that all of this also works for corporate credit and business
Yep.
credit. Okay. So if you've got this line of credit for yourself and you have a line of credit with your corporation, you've got double the ability to use credit for whatever you need to do. You can, I've actually done earnest money deposits on credit cards and debit
Sure.
cards because you can
Sure.
run through the ATM and pull cash off of it. And then I just pull that cash off, I put it in a different bank account and I write a check on it. Or I pull cash off and I actually give it to the broker and I get a receipt for it. There's all kinds of ways to use credit to your advantage. And we're going to talk about more ways to use money when we get back from this break. All right.
Thank you for watching the Investor Guys podcast.
Absolution X, limited editions, lifestyle apparel like none other. Get yours today at absolutionx.com.
Cash Flow Multifamily Investing: The Definitive Guide by Kevin Mills. Get your copy today at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and bookstores.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at Cayman K.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
And we are back, and today we're talking money. Money makes the world go round, and it really does. And when we're talking about real estate investing, I know you guys have heard, and Bill and I both know a certain guy named Bob Allen who wrote a book on no money down. And yes, you can get real estate with no money down. Are you going to have a thriving, booming real estate investing career if you're just looking for no money down deals? No, you're going to drive yourself nuts. You might find a couple of them, but your hair will have fallen out by time you have gotten anything into your portfolio on no money down properties. And what people don't hear when they say no money down, it's no money down. It's not no money. Okay. You
Right.
still have to have money, even if you acquire property. And Bill and I have gotten properties for no money down. Okay. I've gotten free properties where I didn't even have to make a mortgage. They gave me the property. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean I don't still have to pay insurance. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay maintenance. I have to fix these properties up. All those things take money because guess what? A property owner may not want any money, but I guarantee you that your county wants your tax money. I guarantee you that your contractor wants to get paid to fix your house. I guarantee you that the insurance company wants a check that will clear in order to insure your property.
Right.
I guarantee the gardener who's mowing your lawn isn't going to want to do it for no money. So there are ways to acquire properties no money down, but you still need to have money. And having money and understanding how money works, you're going to say, you know what? I'd rather not pull my hair out. Bill, would you rather just chase properties that were no money down, or would you rather chase properties that you knew you were going to make money on and have to invest money in to
Sure.
make money back? You know,
Yeah. I want to
I
make it back plus, plus, plus.
exactly. And I would rather chase those properties because there's a lot more out there. Okay. So understanding money is a key factor in this business. Let's talk more about money. And as we get into this, I think you're right. This is probably a 6, 7, 8 show
Yeah.
thing,
Easy.
'cause we've got all kinds of other things to tap into. Let's talk about how you're going to find ways for money for your down payment. Okay. Earnest money deposit, like I said, you can do as little as $1,000, a few $1,000s. Let's talk
Yeah.
about those of you who were thinking that the no money down route was what you wanted to go, and now after listening to me and Bill, you're like, maybe not, but I still don't have any money. Where can you come up with money for your down payment. Let's talk about that. 'Cause Bill,
All right.
you love building partnerships.
I'm gonna give you a sidebar. I was on Bob's podcast last Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, and it was great. He emailed me and said, "Hey, I'm got a big podcast going, and love to have you on." And so we spent some time together, podcast wise, and it was a lot of fun. So Bob's still out there doing Bob, so you gotta love that. So when you're looking for down payment money, and that's the stumbling block for so many people when they're getting in started, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that. So we talked about credit cards. Well, most credit cards, come with cash advance features. And, I hear people go, "Oh yeah, but it's so expensive to do a cash advance." And I'm like, if you're going to get wrapped up in the fact that it's going to cost you $100 to get $2,000 or whatever it happens to be on a cash advance, when you can use that to tie up a piece of property, you'll never make it in this business because you're focused on the wrong thing. If you stay focused on profit, how do I get into the deal? Because here's the profit and not here's the cost. That's the difference. I tell people this all the time. The difference between rich people and poor people, one of the main differences is people that have money focus on return. People that are broke focus on cost. People that have money focus on value, not price. And people that don't focus on price. And so many times they will buy things of lesser value than what they would normally buy because of price. I get friends from time to time that, and I want to say this carefully because I don't want to sound like I'm being snotty. Why are you always driving Mercedes? Because if you know the game, I can maintain my Mercedes cheaper than you can maintain a Toyota. I can do it cheaper than a Honda. And I proved that I bought an Accord for my middle son. And I know the maintenance and what the dealerships charge. I can do that cheaper with Mercedes, especially once I get out of warranty. So I do it because of value. I get more value, more usage, more trouble-free usage out of it than I do others. So when I'm looking at that, I'm always
I'd rather drive a
comparing.
Mercedes or a BMW than a Honda or a Toyota.
Yeah. I mean, it just, again, neither one of us are trying to be snobs when we say that. It's just a better experience. Okay. So I look at value, not so much cost, and I'd rather wait to get the better value, and it may cost me more to do that than just to go get, especially people that are hung up on driving new cars, which are one of the worst values that you can get out there. So we just talk about that from a standpoint of what's your focus, okay, and what's your mindset. So one of the things that when I'm looking at down payment money, a lot of times I will do that privately. So I may be using a hard money lender to buy the property. So let's say it's a $500,000 property and the hard money lender says, "Hey, you need $100,000 down to be able to buy this 20%, pretty norm, because it's investment property. We like the deal, we'll do the deal, but you got to have 100,000 down at close." Bam. Okay. So where am I going to get that 100,000? Many times I will go out and use private money for that and pay. What if I'm paying 12%, which by the way, I do without blinking. If I'm paying 12% on that, think about that. An entire year for that down payment is $12,000. Well, if I'm in it more than a year, or if I'm in it a year, something's going on, something else is going on. And look, other stuff goes on. I got one hung up right now that I was doing an addition on, and it's hung up in permit department. And it's just, you can't make them go any faster than they're going to go. And it drives me crazy because you lose control, and I'm a control freak. You lose control once you turn the plans over and you're waiting for them to get back, and you can call and call and call and call and call, and it doesn't change anything. It doesn't speed it up. It might actually slow it down, but it doesn't speed it up any. So things just happen. that may cause you to be involved in a property longer than you planned on. But if I'm debt servicing the money and not having to come up with that money, I'd much rather debt service $100,000 than have $100,000 tied up in the deal. Because if I'm debt servicing the $100,000, I can do a multiple number of deals more than I could. And we always, when I teach, I always use the example of, let's say, and there's still, you and I know, there's still parts of the country, you can buy a house right now today. Kevin and I buy duplexes in certain markets, and what those markets are between Kevin and I, unless you're working with us. We know where you can go and buy duplexes and triplexes for $100,000 and less. Okay. So I could go, if I have $100,000, I could go just buy one, free and clear, paid for, done. And that's what a lot of people do. And we try to get them to stop and think a minute. No, wait. Use available funds that are out there. So in a typical 80-20, which is, you're not getting any great special treatment on an 80-20, you're going to have a 20% down payment on a $100,000 loan, $20,000. Well, if I have $100,000 cash, instead of buying one free and clear and making, let's just say we're going to make 20%, period. That's the end of it. I'm going to make 20% on this, said and done. So I'm making $20,000. Well, if I use $100,000 and I leverage every one of those with hard money loans, I can now buy 5 with the same 100,000. So I can buy one free and clear, make $20,000. I can buy 5 with the leverage, and I've used the same $100,000. Now, I may not net a full 20, but I'm going to net probably 18. And I'm just talking about on a flip. And so if I'm doing that 5 times, I've made a 90% return, or I've made $90,000 as opposed to $20,000. And it's the same $100,000. So I'll go private and talk to people about, hey, you want to be involved in this deal. Now I know we're way over, we're pushing over 10 on here. So we'll come back and talk about it.
We're at 10 minutes, but yeah, it's about leveraging. And just think of it literally like a lever. You're using a little bit of effort to move a much bigger mass. And we're using a little bit of money to acquire a much bigger property. So using your $100,000, just really quick, using your $100,000 analogy, instead of buying one property for $100,000, you could buy 5 $100,000 properties using 20% down with that same $100,000, and you've just increased your return on investment 5-fold, essentially. You know,
yeah.
It's sometimes it's a little hard for people to wrap their brain around. I don't understand why, but when you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
That is one thing that Dave Ramsey and I do not agree on. Dave Ramsey says pay cash, pay cash, pay cash. I don't agree. I think you need to leverage. If you are in the business of making money, you need to leverage. And it's not just real estate investors that do this. It is all businesses that do this. All businesses leverage their investments in order to get a better return on their investment. So we are up on a break. We'll be back in just a second.
You are watching the Investor Guys podcast.
The Investor Guys podcast will be back shortly.
Absolution X. Limited editions. Seek your absolution. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Only at absolutionx.com.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at Cayman K Mills University. Comprehensive, collegiate quality real estate professional and real estate investor training. Engaging course content. Study online. At your own pace. millsuniversity.org.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Only at absolutionx.com. Get yours.
Discover the secrets to financial freedom with Cash Flow Multifamily Investing by Kevin Mills. This book is your roadmap to building wealth through smart real estate investments. Learn how to generate passive income and achieve your financial dreams. Get your copy today at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and bookstores, and start.
Thank you for watching the Investor Guys podcast.
The Investor Guys podcast will be back shortly.
They're great, dog.
And we are back for our final segment on our, I guess we're going to say this is our first money show here. Not our first money show ever, but our first money show on our Getting Back to Basics.
Yep.
And if you are just cash strapped and you're credit strapped and you're in that situation where you have no money, you're barely making ends meet, okay? Don't give up. The way you're going to get out of where you are now is by getting into real estate investing. And you've got a couple of options. First off, start working on your credit. Maybe your credit isn't bad, you just don't have a whole lot of credit cards. Slowly, don't just go out and apply for 10 credit cards, because that is going to ding your credit, okay? Apply for a credit card every 3 or 4 months, okay?
Yeah.
And start building your credit that way. If you need cash, if you need money, all right, we're going to give you different things. You may already have money sitting in your IRA or your 401k or whatever else. We're going to talk about that in a future show, okay? But let's say you don't, all right? Somebody you know has money, and it could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be an associate. I prefer not to do deals with friends and family, but I don't have a problem with people who I meet out when I'm talking, people who I meet at the club. I know if you don't have a whole lot of money, you're probably not going to a club, but you go places, you go to church, you have social things that you do, okay? People that you meet and that you talk to. And it doesn't have to be one person with deep pockets. It could be 10 people with shallow pockets. Start taking on partners, okay? So you might have a smaller piece of the pie, but at least you have a piece of pie. If you don't buy a pie, okay, let's use a pie analogy, okay? You're walking past the bakery and there's a pie and it costs $10 and you've got $1. You cannot buy that pie for $1. If you join and get 9 people to each chip in $1, then each person gets 1/10 of that pie. And 1/10 of that pie may not seem like much, but it's more pie than you had before when you could not purchase it with that $1. So start that, okay? Take that piece of pie. Don't eat it if you don't want to. Take that piece of pie, put it in a pan. Next time you walk by that bakery with those same 9 people, okay, who are all happy because they got a piece of pie, all right? Before you know it, you have a half a pie. You have 3/4 of a pie. You have a whole pie. And now you're able to walk by that bakery and have that ability to acquire that whole pie because you know how to do it and you've saved up that whole pie, if that makes sense. By now, going off the rails, but my point is something is better than nothing. I hear people, I don't want to partner because I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. You know what? Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
If you have no means for yourself to do this, then you have to find a partner. You have to find a way to do this. You can find partners. You can do this while you are working on your own credit. Okay. Mm-hmm. While you are doing this with partners, you can bank that money. Don't spend it. Bank that money and use it for future investments. When you have enough to put 20% down, say on your own property, okay, then go ahead and start doing it yourself without your partners. You might just find, as Bill and I have over time, that you've made some great friends and you've got great partners who are happy with their return. you're happy with being able to work with them, and you'll find partners that you don't want to work with ever again. You never want to see their face. Lose my number, I'm taking your number out of my phone. Okay. Honestly, those are fewer and farther between.
Yeah,
The
not
great
many.
partners who you will want to work with over and over and over again. And you'll be surprised that the more people you reach out to, the more people who you put pie into their hands, they're more likely to give you a call, especially when they've got some extra money, tax time, something else, when they want to reinvest the money that they have in order to make more money. They will pick up the phone and they will call you. They'll say, hey, Kevin, hey, Bill, what do you have going on right now? What deals do you have going on right now? I have right now lenders that I haven't talked to in 10 years, that I haven't done deals with in 10 years, calling me right now saying, Kevin, what do you have going on? Because right now, their regular clients, the regular consumers, they've dried up because they don't want to deal with higher interest rates. They know that I'm an investor. They know that I work with home builders. They know that I work with big ticket purchases. And they know that I understand that this is the game. So they're happy to give me a call and say, hey, Kevin, I'm really hurting. I need to write some loans. What do you got going on? Who's doing what that you put me in front of? And you're going to have that same situation when you start delivering and being a profitable real estate investor, which is why we are doing this. And you've got partners, they're going to be happy. And the same as you're going to want to keep doing this to make money, they're going to want to keep doing this to make money. Most times it's not going to be, oh, thank you for my money and my profit back, and never want to see you again, unless you had some sort of other animosity between you. If it was a good professional relationship, they're going to say, thanks. How do I get this reinvested? What's our next project? You know, they're going to start interjecting you. What are we doing next? You know, what are we buying next? You know, whether you need them or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, because getting back to the analogy from before on leveraging money, okay? If you've got the ability to purchase properties on your own, Bill and I have, okay, we can purchase properties on our own, but we can also purchase properties with investors. If we purchase properties on our own and we purchase properties with partners that are our investors or funds, which is what I love to use, then we're buying more properties. We have access to more properties. We have access to more profit. Yes, we have more profit on the deals we do by ourselves, but we're still making profit on other people's money that we would not have had access to ourselves had we not tapped into that resource. So this whole thing, and Bill kind of alluded to it, I'm not sure if we did it on air or off air, but OPM, other people's money. There's so many different factors that can go into this. And think of it this way, for every single resource that we have ourselves, okay, let's say that we weren't cash strapped, let's say we did have good credit, we did have this, we did have that. For every single resource that we have, somebody else has those resources as well. Somebody else has an IRA that they can tap into. Somebody else has a 401k that they can tap into. Somebody else has a savings account that they can tap into. Somebody else has credit that they can tap into. So for everything that we could tap into ourselves, if we had done this the way we should have, somebody else has done it. Somebody else has great credit and they've got a high credit limit. Somebody else has money sitting in the bank because they've been squirreling it away, saving it, not making the type of return at the bank that they could be making it with investing with us. So I've sucked up a lot of this segment here. I'm going to toss back to the OPM master. Bill actually does that. Like I said, I don't know if we mentioned this online or not, but Bill actually does a 3-day seminar on just OPM, just other people's money. And it's definitely something we could do multiple shows on, not just tapping into other people's money, but literally doing the math on using other people's money, seeing the type of return that you get. It is much more significant than investing your money. You may be getting a smaller piece of the pie, but you're actually getting more pie than you would by having invested your own money. You could be getting that piece of pie without any money.
One of the great analogies that I use with it is if you look at any franchise business, the person that owns the franchise and they are doing the franchising, they figure it out, you know. And obviously McDonald's is probably the premier example, but Subway, any kind of franchise you want to look at, the person that started that company, well, gosh, I own a store. And this store, and if we look at McDonald's is, so I start this hamburger, and I have a hamburger store. I have a McDonald's, and then Kroc figures out that, well, wait a minute, if I have 2 stores, I make a lot more money. Well, I don't have the money to go buy another store. So I'll sell that store idea to somebody else, and I'll keep a percentage of it. I won't have the whole thing, but I'll get a piece of it, and I'll show them how to run their business. And then another one, then another one, then another one. And now there's 18,000 or whatever McDonald's around the world. But it's an understanding. Real estate business is a lot like that, in that, well, I could go buy this one house, or I could leverage, and I'm kind of bringing in a partner with my hard money person. They're not a profit partner. They're not a profit or a partner in the ownership of my business. They get a little bit of a piece because of their interest rate, but I look at them and consider them as a partner. So when I bring them in, yeah, I'm going to make a little bit less than I would have if it were all mine, but I have an unlimited number of deals that I can do. I just go find the deal. And if this hard money lender is tapped out, there's 9 bazillion hard money lenders out there. And so I go, just ask another one, ask another one, ask another one. So anyway, guys, we're way over. I hope you'll join us next show. We're going to keep going on money till we eliminate the objection of you not moving forward of, well, I don't have the money to go buy the property. Because most people think, if I don't have the cash, or if I don't have enough credit to be able to go get another mortgage, I just can't do this. That is a horrible fallacy. We will destroy that if you'll hang with us, and you'll learn the different ways to be able to move forward. And we look forward to seeing you on the next Investor Guys podcast.
We'll see you then. Until then, happy investing.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So